If you don't document your processes and you go to exit one day or try to sell your business, because I hate to see people just shut down their business and not sell it. It's shame. There's missed so much opportunity. But if you don't document your process in such a way that it makes you replaceable, now two things are going to happen. Either if they come in to buy it, either you're going to spend the next 6, 12, 18 months in a transitionary role because you are the only person that knows how to do everything and knows how to find everything. So that person that's coming in to buy it, they're going to have to sit down with you for a year, at least probably, most likely, so that they can go through everything and learn exactly what it is that you do, because business is different in January than it is in June, than it is in December.
The Intelligence Forge podcast is sponsored by Permasize AI Forge. The Intelligence Forge podcast is sponsored by Permasize AI Forge. At Permasize AI Forge, we know you're ambitious, but are manual tasks like admin, lead generation, nurturing, and onboarding holding you back from truly scaling your business? Imagine saving dozens of hours every week, freeing you to deepen client relationships and execute high-impact strategy. Our clients aren't just imagining it. They're saving countless hours per week and doubling their revenue within months. We custom-build AI automation systems that eliminate the grind. From effortless lead generation and nurturing to seamless onboarding, we give you back the most valuable resource, your time, so you can focus on building those vital human connections and driving strategic growth. Stop letting repetitive tasks limit your potential. It's time to build a business that works for you, not the other way around. Ready to unlock your true scaling power? Visit PermasizeAIForge.com and book your free AI audit call today to discover how you can save time and double your revenue. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the Intelligence Forge YouTube channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new episode.
From military discipline to delegation intelligence, scaling remote teams, and reclaiming entrepreneurial time. Welcome to the Intelligence Forge. Today, I am thrilled to have Jaime Jay with us, a former airborne paratrooper turned entrepreneur who built a 7-figure company helping business leaders reclaim 20 to 40 hours per week through what he calls delegation intelligence. Jamil, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
I'd love you to start by having you introduce yourself, Bottleneck Distant Assistants, and your role in your own world. What should our audience know about you and what you build?
Well, thank you very much. It's an honor and a privilege. Basically, I grew up in Alaska, which is kind of unique. Had a lot of fun there, played a lot of hockey as a kid and growing up as an adult, and had 46 years of playing hockey. I absolutely loved it. Wow. I met my wife, was on the ice rink, played hockey against me, and boy, oh boy, I fell in love instantly. It was pretty amazing.
Wow.
And I've had some challenges in my life. I've been homeless 3 times.
Whoa.
And so it's a big transition from where I was to where I am now. And a lot of that had to do with mindset and responsible and learning, doing the wrong thing and just partying and doing all that stuff when I was younger and had to really refocus and reimagine what it was that I wanted to do. Thankfully, I was fortunate enough to meet my amazing wife, and she really tried to help me find the true person, the good.
Right.
And it was a big motivator for me starting this business. I've been sourcing assistants from the Philippines for 20 years. So I've been doing it for quite a while, but I didn't start my company until 2016. And I formalized it in 2018, and I've just never looked back since then. And a good friend of mine says, I was the bottleneck in my business at the time, and I said, that's a wonderful name. We launched Bottleneck Distant Assistants, the world's first dedicated distant assistant company. And then I'm a big fan of Christopher Lochhead and category design. And I really believe I looked into designing a new category, which I named Delegation Intelligence. And it's built on a 4-step framework. And the reason that I wanted to build Delegation Intelligence, build that out, is not only to be radically different, it's to maintain employee-employer type of relationship. And
right.
there's such a high average 38% turnover rate right now, and I wanted to figure out how we could reduce that. There's also a time. So a lot of people, on the average, a virtual assistant will stay with an organization for 5 months. I want to figure out why that was and what we could do to increase that. So we reduced our turnover using delegation intelligence from 38% to 8.7%. And we've actually increased length of stay by 670% from average of 5 months to average of 39 months. And so delegation
incredible.
works. I love it.
That's an incredible story. Wow. Thanks for sharing that. We will dive into more of that. Okay, before then, how did you start Bottleneck Distance? I know you've explained a little bit, but one important information that I think our audience will love to understand or know is how much funding was available to you at the start.
None. Bootstrapped it. Yeah, I did. I had a little tiny creative web agency, and I joined a mastermind. I didn't have much money involved, but I joined the mastermind, and they're actually the ones that talked me into starting the company. And so, my wife tells me sometimes that was one of the best decisions I ever made. And I have to agree with them. I'm no longer in that mastermind, but it really pushed me in a direction I didn't realize I needed to go. And so I'm forever grateful and thankful for that. I literally bootstrapped it. I started a little bit at a time, and I paid out of my own pocket from any websites I could build. I tried to do everything I could, hired my first assistant, and that at that time for Bottleneck, and kind of just rolled the dice. And then a couple people out of that mastermind became clients of mine, and then I slowly started building up time. And then I would earn a little bit more, invest a little bit more in infrastructure, earn a little bit more, invest a little bit more in infrastructure. And it was 2022 when we got our first loan, and that really helped us grow.
Fantastic. What a journey. If we fast forward today, let's look at the picture in a different way today. Where are you at? How many employees do you have? Just tell us a little bit about your growth.
Yeah, thank you. We started out. Boy, we only had a handful. Now I believe it's like 60 some, I believe, between the two companies that I have, Bottleneck Medical. And internally we have 8 or 9, I believe. We just hired on our first salesperson. So I've always been doing the sales up to this point, in addition to the visionary work.
Right.
Operations and stuff, but we have wonderful team internal people, from our recruiters and our security, IT, and operations director, who started off as, just a regular virtual assistant, and now she's kind of running the operations. And we have a success manager and web developer and graphic designers, and it's really neat to see where we're going, and I'm so excited about the future. I can't wait for the future.
I'm also very excited for you, because the story you're sharing with me excites me, gladdens my heart. And very importantly, I believe our audience already will see impact at this stage, and we've not even dived into the meat of the discussion. So that's really lovely. Thank you so much. Okay, I'd love to start also by asking you about what is going on, success story. But I will start by saying, you mentioned that in 2008, the recession wiped out your client and you had to rebuild. Can you walk us through the pivot and how you discover the real demand was in how you found, trained, and worked with remote assistants?
Yeah, thank you. 2008 was pretty devastating. At the time, we had an ad agency, and then I had assistants in that agency from the Philippines that were helping us with production and all of that stuff. When 2000, the housing crisis came, at that time I was in Stockton, California, right in the middle of Central California, right in the middle of the state. And every third house fell into foreclosure.
Wow.
What I haven't said is what kind of ad agency I had. I had a real estate-based ad agency. So we worked for real estate mortgage companies. So we lost 72 clients in the span of about 3 months, and we had to shut our doors. So we lost. And I tried to do some things afterwards to kind of pivot a little bit. I tried doing short sales and all this stuff because I had all these relationships in the real estate world. And that worked okay. But ultimately, I ended up finding myself at 38 years old moving back in with my parents, and lost my apartment. And it was God bless my parents, but I was brutal. And so I had to figure out a way to overcome. And it took me a couple years to kind of get my footing back and figuring out what I wanted to do. That is kind of matches up with the timeline when I met my beautiful wife. And in 2011, 2012, something lit a fire or something. There was a spark. And that's when I started down this road. And it took me, 3 or 4 years of kind of trying to do marketing and doing all this stuff. Still worked with assistants at that point, but I didn't launch the company. And I started getting a lot of feedback. People were like, how are you getting these amazing people? Like, they're just amazing. And they were affordable. And so it just kind of blossomed into what it is today. But yeah, it was definitely it was a tough journey.
Wow, fantastic, incredible story. Okay, you recently had an incredible interview with Mo Affairs, on the Beyond the Byte podcast, filmed in the Nomad Library at Park MGM with the Rockefeller Family Book Collection as your backdrop. Am I correct?
Oh my gosh, you are. You've done some research.
Okay, all right. My question is, what is the most exciting thing that is happening at Bottleneck Distant Assistants right now? Some of those success stories, some of those wins that you want us to celebrate with you, even if it's not something that happened recently, maybe but something that it is very exciting that gladdens your heart.
Well, it could be so many things, but I always fall back to the team. My team is absolutely amazing. I would not be anywhere without them. And that includes my wife, because my wife works with us as well.
Okay.
The team is, I don't know how to describe them. They are absolutely amazing. It feels like a family. I've never met them in person. That's crazy. But I've spent my professional career with them here at Bottleneck, and they're just absolutely amazing. That is probably the number one win. I have friends that I'll have forever with them, and I will protect them to the end of the earth. So yeah, I would say that's probably one thing, because without them, I wouldn't be afforded the luxury of, my life that I have here today. It's, as you said, gladdens me. It makes me really happy that when I go into work, I'm going to work with friends and people that I fully trust 100%. I don't think a lot of people can say that when you're building a team like that. And so that's probably the biggest thing that I look to. And when my wife and I first got together, she didn't work with my business. And now she's pretty heavily involved in the finance end of everything and working with our bookkeeper and keeping everybody paid and doing all of that. So she's really gotten involved in it. And it's kind of nice now where we can have conversations where we can separate work and life, but I don't call it work balance. I simply call it life balance, because no matter if we're working or we're having fun, work is fun for us, by the way.
That's true.
We have a personal journey or doing whatever we are, that's life. So I don't believe in work-life balance. I just believe in life balance. And so we're able to participate in that together.
Sounds good. Life balance it is. You have to balance everything.
Yes.
And it's all about our life. And the reason why we live in is for us to feel good. And as long as we're feeling good in all areas, we are cool. All right. Thank you, sir. All right. You've been very vocal about AI being here to stay and how it's going to transform our lives in the next 5 years. All right. What specific AI tools or technology are you currently using at Bottleneck Distance Assistant to stay competitive?
So, famous AI, ChatGPT, Grok, all the large language models. We also used 11 Labs and several other pieces of AI that we put on our Delegation IQ blueprint. We built that using 4 different applications. And what's really, really neat about that is you can either type or you can talk. You answer set questions, and it takes about 2 to 5 minutes, depending on how in depth you go. But we leverage the power of enriched data, so and so that it creates a report to show people that are working with us, that want to work with us. It kind of identifies their bottlenecks. And using enriched data, it develops a 10-page report for them that is specifically unique to them and their situation. And I really like it, because when people use their voice, you get to pull out that vernacular and capture that as well, which is really wonderful. And so they can identify their bottlenecks, and then we show them how they can overcome those bottlenecks, overcome those challenges or hurdles. Then we also outline what are the best roles for their current challenges that they can hire from us. And when they hire from us, we paint a little picture of this is what life is going to look like in 6 months for you. If you do this, this, and this, then they get put into our kind of our onboarding funnel, and they can schedule a consultation, and then we go through that. But that's one instance or one area that we use AI. We have some custom chat GPTs we built. Yeah, we're pretty heavily involved with AI.
All right. Music to my ear. When I hear a business owner like you talking about AI, the way they're using it, I think for me, it's music to my ears. But thank you so much for sharing that.
Absolutely.
Okay, here is the magic one question. Everyone got to answer this question on the podcast. Is the magic one question. So here is yours. So if you have a magic one today and you could instantly improve one thing about your company's operation, what will it be and why?
That is what we're going through right now. We just finished our Q1 battle plan for first quarter. And in that is we're trying to simplify our internal processes. So we use a system called GHL, Go High Level. Yep. And we have 4 different sub accounts in there, and we're going to consolidate that down into 2, one for the recruitment side and one for the sales and marketing side. It's going to be a lot less moving parts. And we're also looking at different ways where instead of using maybe Zapier or that tool, we're going to be using the tool that GHL provides. We're just trying to simplify the process. We've also are looking at consolidating all the different softwares that we have out there. So we've gone away from, what is it called? I forget what it's called, but we moved everything over into Google. So everything there, so Google Docs and the backups, we moved all of our files into there from, I can't remember the name of the dang company that the software that we used before, where we were storing all of our documents. So we kind of moved everything and simplified the process, and kept it real nice and easy. And so that's what we're coming up for in Q1 is we're going to merge all of that together. Another thing that we're doing is we've also reduced the amount of target audience that we have previously been going after. And we reduced that down to 3, so we'll be more hyper-focused in those industries.
All right.
And so we're going to perform some lightning strikes in Q1 and Q2 to target those specific industries, the construction industry, the advertising and marketing agencies industry, and the home services agencies.
Wow, that's fantastic. That's actually a big plan, which, I think you're doing incredible. I just have to say that you are doing incredibly well. But thank you so much for sharing that. Already Q1 is in motion. You're putting everything in place. But how is that process going? Are you doing this internally or you have... Oh, okay. All right. That's fantastic.
We're doing it internally. I tell you, we have an amazing team.
Yeah, you said so. You said so. But do you believe this is just what I would just say cliche to say because it's part of the script, but I think I know what your answer is going to be. If there are some other huge things that you think could increase either your revenue or could save you time, because I'm talking to someone who is helping organizations to save time. Definitely, you know what I'm talking about. But if you look at your operation today and you see some certain things that you think you're doing this manually, and you think if we automate this, it's definitely going to save us time. It's going to help us do things faster. How, are you looking into that? Is it something you already put in motion? And I'm not talking about some of the things you explained, but I'm talking about specific things that you're just looking at, somebody is doing this and they spend this hour, and we actually automate this. Maybe you've not figured it out yet, but you've been thinking about it and you think, maybe this thing could be automated, but I'm not sure, I don't know. Is there anything like that you want to share with us?
Yes. So we are big into automations and integrations. We are huge into that.
Fantastic.
So I would say 90% of our business without losing any of the human to human touch, right?
Sure. Yeah.
I'm a real big proponent of human beings. All of our GAs are human beings. They're not AI, but they're highly tech enabled human beings, meaning that they can create AI.
Yeah.
And so we teach them through prompting and prompt engineering, prompt chaining. And then we also teach them about integrations and automations. But it's important, it's part of our pick right, our core values, that it's a human first type of mentality. That's one of our core values. But that being said, one of the challenges I have right now, say I'm on a consultation, I have a consultation form that is a form in our CRM, and I try to fill it out while I'm talking to people. And right now, what we're trying to do is figure out how I can be using my voice to populate the fields automatically so I don't have to do it. And you have that form automatically trigger the follow-up sequence that we've already prepared. So that's something a little bit challenging for us right now, but I'm pretty sure we figured it out. It's just now taking that and putting it together.
For sure, you will figure it out. They said when there's a will, there's always a way. So because you have the will to do it, I can guarantee you would definitely find a way around it. But that's really fantastic because you're making life easy for yourself, for your team, to make things, go smoothly and easy. I mean, that kind of assistant could do a lot. You don't need to type, just speak, and then everything is populated. Go to the next sequence, and then there you go. Yeah, I think I also heard about something that's part of my community also that we're trying to, to also build. You having a sales call, and you have this sales call assistant joining you like Fireflies, but Fireflies just record, but this is going to join you like assisting you. So as you are going in the sales call, you're asking question, then it's going to interrupt you to say, no, this is the next question you should be asking because this is the result you're going to get. And it's going to just make your sales call beautiful because, if you've done sales call very well, which I believe you've done, you finish your sales call and you're like, I think I should have asked this question. How did I forget? Have you had a moment like that it just came to you after the whole thing is done, that you just think, maybe I should have had this question? So that's what that kind of assistant will be doing because it will preempt faster than human to tell you that, oh, I think you need to ask this question. So I'm just trying to buttress that. What you're trying to do is really fantastic because it's going to really, once you get it done, I think you're going to enjoy it. But yes, thank you so much for sharing that.
Well, and I will tell you something. I told you about the Delegation IQ blueprint. So they speak into it or type the answers to these 7 questions. It takes 2 to 5 minutes, and it generates a report for them, a 10-page PDF, really nice looking, beautiful, graphical, and all that stuff. But it really gives them good information, good executable information. But also, we generate 2 more reports. The second report is a sales-driven report, and it's going to say, this is the type of person this person is. These are the challenges they have. These are the questions you should be asking this type of person in gameplay because of their personality. And you can mention this and this and this because these are their pain points. Another report that goes to our recruitment, it says, this is the type of personality this person is. This is the type of person that would be the best fit for them. So while you're out there vetting candidates for this role, make sure that here's all the things that they need to know technically or administratively, but make sure that they talk like this or that you find somebody like this that will fit in with them. It's a really strong environment. It's really fast paced. So they got to make sure, or it's a very relaxed environment. And, they're looking for someone calm, cool, and collected. And so when we get reports like that AI is kicking out for us, it's really neat because of it getting this information before I even talk to them. So I can get into that armed with the knowledge of what it is that they're looking for and how I should speak with them so that they understand what I'm saying, what's expected and stuff like that. So, and I think that's really, really helpful. So that's the good part of AI.
Wow, fantastic. I love it. I love all these details you're sharing with us, gladdens my heart. Okay, let's move on. You pioneer this concept of delegation intelligence as opposed just to say virtual assistant. But my question is, what made you realize that the VA industry was broken? Probably not really broken, but how did you actually create this entire new concept of delegation intelligence?
Well, I think the VA industry is broken. I really do. And I was following a lot of what I learned from other agencies that I was looking at. Relationships weren't lasting that long. There was high turnover. I was getting feedback from some of my clients saying, I wanted to hire them because, I want them to do stuff. I want them to be proactive. And, the last thing I want is for them to ask me, hey, what do you want me to do today? And there's all these things that stall growth. The other side of that, client, right? The client didn't really know how to properly delegate sometimes. And they would mishire, meaning they really needed somebody to be here, but they wanted them to be trained up and know all they could know about maybe a CRM. And I want somebody that knows exactly about this stuff. Well, the problem is I could go out and find the best trained person for this software, that AI tool, this whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you use ChatGPT?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We do.
right?
We do. Yeah. Claude. Yeah.
You
Everything.
probably, Claude, ChatGPT, any large language model,
Yeah.
but you're going to use that differently than I would use it. It's the same
Sure.
tool.
Yeah.
You have different things from your past that you're intelligent about that I probably don't even come close.
That's true.
to, right?
That's true.
You're probably going to be a lot different. So if I say, yes, I've got somebody that knows how to use ChatGPT, and you say, perfect, I'm going to hire them, then you're going to call me and say, Jamie, they don't know anything about ChatGPT. Yes, they just don't know how you use it. So we had to re-educate and relearn and train our assistants using this delegation intelligence umbrella so that when we would move into a role, we could better set expectations. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
On both
Makes sense.
sides, on the client side and the DA side. And when we started doing that, we saw massive change. And we would up
Wow.
our prices. We upped our prices $1,000 a month, and we are bringing on even more people now. So we just
Wow.
really, really, really made a big difference when we started implementing delegation intelligence. And there's a reason that I did not trademark that, because I want everybody to learn delegation intelligence and learn that for themselves to use in their own business.
Wow. God bless you for that. Thank you so much. You're not just looking after yourself, you're looking after everyone else. That's good. Thank you.
What it's all about. There's no competitors in my world.
I mean, even if I tell people, if you're doing something and you give me the breakdown, if you still want to be unique in your own thing, you will still be unique. Because there are not two people that are the same 100%. The uniqueness of who you are will still make you different from other people, regardless of if we are doing the same thing. And I think people need to understand that so that they don't get scared to say, oh, I don't want people to copy what I'm doing. Oh, I don't want, no. But at the end of the day, your uniqueness will remain with you. And the way you deliver your goods cannot be the same way that I'm going to deliver the same thing. All right.
No. Amen.
Good.
100%.
Okay. You mentioned if you cannot, just to back up with what you just said, if you cannot make yourself replaceable, your business will run your life. That's a powerful statement. So, what's the biggest challenge you face in getting entrepreneurs to embrace this philosophy?
Yeah. So this is the reason I wrote my book, Quit Repeating Yourself. And the reason that I wrote that book is because so many people, if they are gone from the organization, their organization fails. Say someone comes to you, Emmanuel, and they say, and you're the person running it, right? And you don't have any systems documented in place. This is how I do this. This is how I pay this. This is how I do these invoices. This is how I do this. If you don't document your processes and you go to exit one day or try to sell your business, because I hate to see people just shut down their business and not sell it. It's shame. There's missed so much opportunity. But if you don't document your process in such a way that it makes you replaceable, now two things are going to happen. Either if they come in to buy it, either you're going to spend the next 6, 12, 18 months in a transitionary role because you are the only person that knows how to do everything and knows how to find everything. So that person that's coming in to buy it, they're going to have to sit down with you for a year, at least probably, most likely, so that they can go through everything and learn exactly what it is that you do, because business is different in January than it is in June, than it is in December. If you have everything documented, not only can you drive your valuation up, but now you can be replaced easily. And a lot of people are uncomfortable with that. Oh, this is my baby. I built it. I don't trust it. I can't give you my credit. I don't want it. No, I am 100%. I love CEOs and executives that want to be replaceable because they've been responsible enough to create systems. And if you look at it, look at all those franchises out there, McDonald's and all this. You can go to McDonald's in one place or McDonald's in another state, in another country. but you're going to get the same exact burger. You're going to get the same exact fries. And that is because they have a really well thought out system. The cook times are exactly the same. They're little buttons that you push. You don't have to worry about that. So you're not going to be messing the stuff up. The training is the same. No matter if you train at McDonald's in Colorado Springs or McDonald's in, Branson, Missouri, it's going to always be the same. So document. And if you have a hard time getting started with this because it's not really a lot of fun, do something as if it's the last time you're ever going to do it. That means whatever thing you don't like doing, start there. And just imagine, what if you could only do that one more time, because you're going to document the process in the way that you do it, so that you can hand that off to somebody else. You can delegate those tasks that don't bring you energy. If you go with that kind of mentality, man, I don't like doing accounting. I hate accounting. But boy, oh boy, if I did it that one last time, guess what? Now I have a bookkeeper. My wife handles it. We got a CPA. I don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Right? But I spent that one more time doing that pain. And it's made me so happy not to be able to do with that.
Fantastic. I think you answered the next question. I was going to ask you and refer to your book in terms of, quit repeating yourself, and to ask you about how building companies the right way through system, process, and workflow, just for you to share about what that concept means. And I think that's just what you just explained. So it means it's very important, because if the process, the flow, like you just explained, even when you're not there. I asked somebody last week on a podcast, I said, do you believe that if you are not available for 6 months, do you think your business will die? And the lady paused, and she couldn't answer for like 5 seconds. And then she said, yes and no. It said, yeah, yes, because this, no, because that. But if I look at your answer, the answer all the time should be yes. The system or the business will continue to run because I have a system. And anyone that goes in there with business experience could run it because there's a system, there's a process. Am I correct in saying that?
100%, 100%. And I'll even take that a little step further. All of our dedicated distant assistants are trained in delegation intelligence. And what that means is workflow and delegation best practices. What they do is, within the first 6 months of working for our clients, they will document every single task delegated to them down to the click of the mouse button, very detailed, so that they can hand that off if they go on vacation to someone else. But within the first 6 months, we actually build a workflow manual for our client. So we do that on their behalf. And I've seen so many people that said, oh yeah, I've got my systems and processes, but they don't. There's parts missing, or it's been done 3 years ago. Our assistants stay up on that. And it is amazing when you can have your company, your business, just systemized and SOPs and all of this stuff. Talk about, because there's a lot of stuff that's like nails on chalkboard to people, right? Like, a lot of people don't like going, okay, I'm going to do this, and then I do this, and then do this, but they don't do that. But I would encourage people. It's the same thing as planting a tree. When's the best time to plant a tree, Emmanuel?
20 years ago?
When's the second best time?
Now.
Right? So people that have not created their SOP library, and you could do it. Get on a video and say, press a screen record and say, this is what I do when I send an email for this, or, whatever. And then all of a sudden start saving those videos into a library, and start now, because when you get ready to hire somebody, if you don't have that library, you're already in chaos when you're hiring somebody. Reduce the amount of stress there and get prepared to hire somebody. Even if you don't know you're going to hire somebody, get prepared, because bottom line is, it's going to save you a lot of time and energy down the road. It's going to teach you to get in the habit of documenting your process. And the third thing is, ultimately, it's going to increase your valuation, because you're going to make yourself replaceable.
Right. I'm seeing something in what you're saying. But let's move on. Value, big value. Okay. All right. From your experience, you've worked with thousands of entrepreneurs, but what's the most bottleneck that prevent business leaders from agreeing to delegating? I know a lot of companies, a lot of business owners will like, no, I don't want to do that. But what are those bottlenecks that you've seen? Why business resist delegation? And how does that challenge impact their team and their bottom line?
Yeah. I think it's ignorance, and I don't mean that in a negative manner. It's just that
I know what you're talking about.
they don't know what they don't know. And there is an art to delegation. I even wrote a white paper on this. There are things that you can do to set expectations to where you're not being let down, and where you can turn somebody that does not have a proactive bone in their body to make them more efficient and more productive, and ultimately make them more proactive through the delegation intelligence. And I think because we created the world's first delegation department, there's never been a delegation department before Bottleneck was around. There's been HR, sales, marketing, operations. There's been all kinds of departments, never a delegation department. And why is that? Well, people figured HR could handle everything.
Yeah.
HR has a wide spectrum. And if that's the case and HR departments can handle everything, why is the turnover rate so high? Why is the length of stay when people are going down the road for 50 cents more an hour and they're getting a job over there? Why is this happening? It's because they don't have a delegation department, and they don't understand how to effectively delegate because they don't know how to explain their own situation and set their own expectations. And what happens is what they think is right versus what somebody else thinks is right, they collide because they've never identified and set those expectations together. And that's why documentation is so important.
Wow. I agree with you 1000%. If there's anything like that, you're absolutely correct. But thank you so much for sharing. Let's look at your own business, your own operation. Maybe in summary, where do you want to see your business in the next 12 months? So I'm interested, and I think our audience will be interested in terms of currently you're dealing with XY client. I think in the next 12 months, you want to double that. And what are you doing? Because I think I will also understand, we're talking about other companies in terms of their bottleneck, in terms of some of them. Do you also have challenges yourself that you're hoping to solve, that you think, I think this is really has been impeding us from scaling or from, those are some of the things that's what I mean by saying in the next 12 months. Where do you want to see and what are some of those things that you're still trying to solve that you think these are these things that is still holding us down and we could be able to find it easily removed and do that we could get to where we want to get to in the next 12 months?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And we have it planned out. We want to 4 times our sales. So typically in the past, we've been a sales organization, an operations organization, and a recruitment organization. This year, we're changing all of that. Not that we're not doing that, but we're going to be a conversions organization. So we're really going to pay a better attention to our numbers. How many delegation IQ blueprints need to be completed to set a consultation? How many consultations need to be completed to actually get a sale? And with those percentages, we're really going to have a good understanding. We should already have been documenting this. Shame on me, but I won't do it again. And so what's happening is now we're developing our sales development representative program. So we have a sales program. We just completed our first training. I'm so excited that we're going to have a new sales development representative, SDR, on board. What my goal is by the end of 12 months is I want to have 20 of them on board. I want to have all 20 of them, and they're all going to know that I need to reach out 100 times a day. They'll do their own math. Every salesperson's a little bit different, right? Their conversions may be different and unique, but I want all of them to use the same formula so that if they want to get 5 sales a month, they know that they have to reach out to, 3,000 people or 1,000 people or 100 people a day or whatever that is. And it's just the numbers. They know, hey, you know what? I want to take a vacation. So I need to get 6 deals this month. So I need to make this many calls, right? So I think we're working on that now, launching it literally right now. And within 12 months, we'll 4 times our business.
Wow, that is interesting. That's a big, big, big dream out there for you. But I have a follow-up. Again, this is off script. SDR, you're going to be having like 10 of them. Have you thought about 12? Okay. Have you thought about automating those SDR?
Yes, we have. And so one of my pick right core values is human first. Now, I know what you're going to say. I have humans that I want to be interacting with potential clients. We call the prospects. And then once they come on board and pay the onboarding, they're customers. After they complete 60 days, we congratulate them as a brand new client. The SDRs will use, remember, highly tech-enabled SDRs. So they will use AI to help with their outreach, and they will build those programs, and we will build them along with them. Yes, we definitely want to do that, but I want to make sure that it's human first going out there. Now I've seen the amazing things that the AI can do and outreach and things like that. I absolutely love it. However, I am old school and I do like that human aspect. Now, messaging and stuff like that, don't get me wrong, it's all automated for me. We have 19 different stages in our sales pipeline. 19 different stages.
Wow.
Stage is automated. So we have triggers set. So when the client is done with stage 1, it shuts off those automated sequences and they begin the stage 2 sequences, because I always want to make sure whatever messaging they're receiving is relevant to their current state, right?
Right.
The same thing that we will do with our SDRs. So they will still have a very similar program to that, but I want to make sure they're heavily involved in this. Now, they can reach out to more people. That's great. That's fine. But I need that human touch there. I'm old school like that.
The human element, you cannot rule it out in everything that you do. I mean, that's what we preach. That's what we tell people in everything that you do. When you do automation, there must be an element of human touch, even if it's just 5%. At least. I mean, we developed an AI system that could do content on social media. And we tell the people, we said, this system could just design your content every morning and just put it for you. Post it just straight away. But if there's an error one day, you are responsible for it. Because no one is going to think and say, it's the AI system that make a mistake. It's your brand. It's you, the owner. So we told them, we have to include an approval level twice, whereby somebody will have to see it first, review it, and say, yes, this is good enough. Click approved. And that is when it goes into your social media account out there. So human element, I agree with you. You cannot rule it. You cannot. Either you are old school or new school, it's a rule of thumb that I think it's a reasonable rule that whatever you are automating, make sure that there's an element of a human touch in it. So I agree with you.
Yeah, and we call every result in large language models, whether it's ChatGPT or Gemini, every result, even if you've iterated through prompt chaining several times, that result is an idea.
It's true.
It's true. To be vetted by a human.
Thank you so much. This topic, this next question, I just wanted to share because I noticed you've hosted Bottleneck TV for nearly 3 years, and the Culture Eats Strategy podcast for 9 months. But both seems to have ended. I don't know why, but I want you to explain later. But why did you stop this podcast, particularly the Culture Eats Strategy? I remember, I don't want to mention the name, probably somebody you know, and we always say, when there's a chaos somewhere, I always told you, culture, we eat strategy for breakfast. And that is what we are seeing here, and he always joking and just, and that's how, what makes that, face popular for me. It's a culture, we eat strategy for breakfast. And that's a reason why we have this, but what did you learn from this experience about where to focus your energy? This may be out of what we've been discussing, but I just want to know your experience in those two things that you've done in the past, even though you've ended them now.
Yeah, I was achieving burnout. I was trying to do too many things. I've done over 1,000 episodes of podcast. Wow. I started in 2014. Between all of the episodes from Stop Writing the Pine was my first podcast. Gosh, that was years ago. Then I did live streaming and I did all these podcasts. It takes a lot. Nowadays with AI, it's a lot easier. At the time, I was doing too much. I was doing that, and I was saying yes to everything. And I have to attribute 99% of the success that Bottleneck has had is because of the podcasting platform. I've met so many potential clients or people that have been wonderful and invited me to events where I met more clients and, or they would refer people. I love that platform. And that's why I'm starting another live stream in January. So I'm going to start a brand new live stream that we're going to be doing. And I'm going to kind of get back into it. It's going to be called the Delegation Desk, right? And so
love it.
We'll have a lot of fun with that and get back up. But I work Tuesday through Thursday now. My life is a lot more organized now. The company is a lot better off than it was, 6-7 years ago. So now I'm excited once again to get back into that that podcasting type live streaming experience. And now I have that energy that I can focus on that. Whereas back then I didn't have it. And I was just turning out episodes simply for the fact of turning out episodes. And that's not good for anybody.
Wow, what a story. I can continue, with this conversation. I can tell you, if I show you my script, I still have questions. But unfortunately, we have to, because I have to respect your time, because it should be, about now. But thank you so much, Jaime. Your journey from the airborne to building a 7-figure delegation intelligence company is truly inspiring. And the work you're doing to help entrepreneurs reclaim their time is also invaluable. I must thank you for all these things you're doing. Thank you so much. But one last thing that I want to ask you, if anyone wants to get in touch with you, our listener, our audience, probably they see something they want to bounce with you, or maybe they want to work with you in some capacity, I don't know, but they just want to keep in touch with you. How can they find you?
They can go right to bottleneck.online. That's our website. Yeah, it's pretty easy. But you can go anywhere and type in Jaime Jay Bottleneck, and if you really want to reach out, I'm not hard to find. And they're gonna watch your episode here.
Sure.
So I'll tell her.
Links will be there. Yeah.
And yeah, it's anywhere. I'm such an open book. If I can help anybody or support them in any way, shape, or form, that's definitely what I want to do. And I'm really blessed, and thank you so much, Emmanuel, for having me on today. It means a lot for you to share. I know we went over our time, but I just it's very special for me that you would hold a piece of your life and share it with me. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much too for coming. It's not really easy for people to agree to come and share, their experience, their journey, but I really appreciate it. I'm not taking it lightly, and that's why I'm saying thank you so much. And I wish you all the best in your endeavor, and let's keep in touch. Thank you so much, sir.
You didn't quit your day job to become a full-time admin assistant. The Intelligence Forge podcast is sponsored by Permasize AI Forge. At Permasize AI Forge, we know you didn't start your business to spend 60 hours a week on paperwork, chasing leads, and managing endless admin tasks. You started it to build something meaningful and serve your clients. But right now, you're trapped in the day-to-day grind instead of growing your business. What if I told you our clients are reclaiming 15, 20 hours per week, increasing their revenue by 30 to 50% within 6, 12 months, and finally getting their lives back? We don't just automate random tasks. We build custom AI systems that eliminate the bottlenecks choking your growth, from leads generation to lead, nurturing and management to project management to client follow-ups. Stop paying for an expensive, frustrating manual system. It's time to upgrade to strategic automation. Visit PermasizeAIForge.com and book your free business transformation strategy call today. Discover exactly how much time and money you're losing to manual processes and how to get both back. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the Intelligence Forge, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode packed with game-changing insights. Your future automated business is waiting.